what do you think when you see your hair a bit dry or your barber is cutting your hair really low for no reason? It doesn't really hit you, you know? Obviously, I know now, but back then, it's just like, okay, let's keep moving with this. Then one night, I remember this day vividly. This is when things took the first kind of like tangible turn for me in terms of my bold journey. I was out with my friends. We were just walking down from his house, and he told me, "Hey, Hezron, you know, you're starting to lose a bit of hair on your top." I'm like, "What? What?" I didn't really think of it. Like, obviously, my brother's bald, my dad's bald, but like a lot of things in life, you think, "Oh, no, 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 no. That's never going to happen to me, right?" So I thought, what's this guy talking about? Is he crazy? He's like, "Listen, I'm going to take a photo of it for you right now." So he took a photo of it and he showed me on his phone. And I was like, well, that's kind of mad still. Like, but even then, I'm still thinking it can't be like fully me involved in this situation. Like, it's just maybe you start to think all these kind of like very foolish things. Like, maybe it's because you're losing hair because of stress or, some other sort of reasons. You really don't want to believe what's happening. Okay, that's the first stage of your bold journey. He's like, "Listen, bro, it's happening, but the fact that we found it now when it's just started means that there's still hope you can find a way to fix this." And I didn't really like take much of it. I was like, nah, it's not a thing, it'll just go away. I just put that thought in the back of my mind. But he told me this thing about, I forgot the name of it, that spray thing. See, my boldness journey has gone so far, ironically, that I've forgotten the name of that spray thing. Was it Regain? Regain, that's what it was. He told me about that, but I thought nothing of it, didn't want to accept it, didn't want to know about it. That was something that was going to be pushed far, far, far to the side. So I kept getting my hair low as usual, bar a mark, and my life didn't really change much. The haircut, I got my haircuts between 1 and 2 weeks, so there was nothing much to see. But then COVID came. And there was no escaping COVID, guys, because with COVID came the lockdowns. And what was going to be seen in my head was what was going to be seen, because there was nowhere to run now. Couldn't get haircuts, had to stay at home for months at a time. So when COVID came, oh my God, that was when the real reality check came, guys. It was like, yep, okay, this is happening, because my hair fully grew out, and that patch there, the crown patch, that was visible. Even if I didn't even take a photo of it from behind, I could just feel like the hole in the wall, like really, really weird feeling, guys. And there was no escaping it, guys. And I thought, okay, this is going to be a problem then. And that took a major hit to my self-confidence, because when you have hair, guys, you attach a lot of your self-worth directly on the hair that you have, okay? On that hairline or on the haircut. You don't really know it at the time, but once you start to lose your hair, you realize you put a lot of self-worth about your whole being purely on your haircut. So when it starts to go, it's really like you start to lose yourself. It's almost like you lose your personality. So this was a really hard time in my life, because not only was I losing my hair, but I had to rebuild my entire life, because due to COVID, I couldn't do what my previous work was. Before COVID, I was presenting, I was doing gigs, I was doing quiz shows, I was playing piano, I was teaching. All that went to zero pretty much instantly on March the 20th, when Boris Johnson and his government decided to keep us all in lockdown. And because I'm self-employed, I wasn't entitled to this furlough, where you get money for pretty much not working. Self-employed people didn't know when they were going to get money, or even if they were going to get any money from the government. So not only was I losing my hair, but I was losing money all at the same time. My world was crashing down on me, both financially, with my career, and physically, all at the same time. So absolutely a hard time to be in. I didn't know my future. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And because of all this, I had to start up a new business, Hezron Productions. So it was absolute chaos. If God had picked the worst time for this hair loss thing to start happening, it was then. COVID, lockdown, are you kidding me? And as time went further and further ahead, the more the hair grew out and the more obvious it was, right? So I had to start to really understand what the hell was going on here. So the first thing I did was went out and bought that thing called Regain, okay? Despite the fact that I heard a lot of people saying, just go bold gracefully and get rid of it one time, I decided, hey, I'm going to get this Regain thing and I'm going to beat everybody. That's the, you have all these illusions when you go bold. You will do anything to fix the situation. So I bought it and that thing was like £30 for each like monthly dose or something like that. I think it was like £90 every 3 months, something like that. Just crazy expensive money. But I mean, I was out of options. What can I do? And I heard a few people saying, they were doing it for like 5-10 years, and over time it will, the problem will really get to you. There's no escaping it. But 10 years sounded good to me. So I started to use that Regain thing. And I really wanted to have the hope in my heart that yes, it would work. During this coronavirus period, I started to grow my business. And to go to every single client I had with a hat on was absolutely annoying. I was going down to the city, King's Cross, Mayfair, Bond Street, cracking these really big deals with important people, with new clients. And this is a new business I have here. And I don't know what the hell I'm doing, because this is like my first proper company where we have staff, where we have a product and we have things we're going to sell. And I'm already insecure about that, really, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing running this business, really. But also I'm wearing these kind of stupid hats, I remember I cracked a deal in King's Cross, St. Pancras, wearing this hat, That's quite funny, isn't it, guys? I was wearing this literally yellow hat, but, anything but for my clients, my prospective clients, to see me with a bald head, a balding head. Because at that time, obviously, I didn't take the jump to fully, cut this thing off clean. So, yeah, I went into that hat phase thing. And I've got so many hats here, guys. This is from my past. One hat, the Marvel hat, guys. So many hats here. Another hat. Oh my God, I've got more right here, guys. Another hat. And another hat. I've got so many because that was the phase, okay? So I was in at the time. So it started off as, okay, I'm going to ignore it. That was 2018. But then 2020, it turned in, okay, this might be a little bit of a problem, but it's solvable. So I kind of tiny bit accepted it, but not fully, because I thought that I was going to solve the problem. Okay, so that phase there is when you start to find ways to solve the problem. So Regain's one, but the way I decided to solve it, try to solve it, or to try to heal the wounds, was through hats. Because I couldn't bear to look at myself without a hat on, And looking back at it now, it sounds so foolish to really place all that self-worth purely because of hair on your head. But in those moments, because this is new to you, you've had hair for 25 years, and then suddenly it's gone, yeah, it was like World War III happening to myself physically. So the hats were on wherever I went. Church, to corporate events, to the weddings that we did in the company at the beginning, to cracking deals in the city. Wherever I went, it had to be a hat thing. And, over time, that started to be a problem, because it was like I was hiding myself. And the thing is, it's really weird for me because I'm an extrovert, and I don't hide. I'm always out there. I'm the out there guy. And there was a disconnect in my own psyche because here I am, the extrovert that likes to be the life of the party, but really I'm hiding myself. And I just hate to hide myself. So as time goes along, what you really start to find is that there's a huge weight on your shoulders because you're just hiding every day, you know? You would take it off at home, the hats, but then as soon as you left the house, bang, the hat goes on. And that just gave you a huge weight on your shoulders. That just gave me a huge weight on my shoulders. Like, the problem just persisted and it was always there. It was like my head had weight on it. It's a really, really weird feeling, and you don't only really understand this feeling if you're going through it, really. But you're constantly thinking, is my hairline okay? Is someone going to take off my hat? You know, people start to think, am I hiding something? And they would like kind of like touch my hat, and then I'd be like, and I'd be like, no, they try to do this, and I'm like, no, keep it on. And it's just you're just hiding. I don't hide, guys. I am who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. But there I was, weak and what's the word for it? Weak and what's the word I'm looking for? Shivering or weak and like insecure because of this problem. But I'm the guy that's always like, I can get through anything. I can be anything I want to be. But then this little problem was persisting, and it was not like you could have days off from it. That's on your head all day. There's no running from it, guys. So at this point, I'm now starting to think of other ideas. So like, you got the hair transplant, and that cost a lot of money, and it was just COVID, and I just started a new business, and all my money was going to investing into this business. So that was, at least for the meantime, out of this situation. I'd rather put that money onto my camera equipment or to whatever my business needs. And the other option was that kind of hair tattoo thing. But I just found the hair tattoo thing so like weak and pathetic because it's fake. Like they pretty much draw it on. And that just doesn't work for me. Just the fakeness. It's kind of like having the fakeness of it just didn't work. And I've seen FouseyTube rock that, and it just looks pathetic. Like you just can't accept it. At least with the hair transplant, no one really knows that you had a hair transplant, really. So there's no disconnect from the public, even though you know it yourself. But it looks the same, so who cares? But this hair tattoo thing, you look at it and it's kind of obvious, and you have to keep keeping your hair going down. So you've got to keep shaving your head all the time because if it grows, and the hair tattoo will look very obvious. And nah, not for me. So I was really in limbo in that stage because I was just lacking that self-confidence. And one of the things that really got to me, was, hey, girls will never like me ever again. That was a sentiment that, I lived by. I thought, my God, no girl would ever want a bold guy. Like that was the stupidity in my thinking at the time, guys. I thought that, bang, my relationship life, my dating life is over because the boldness would drop me points way below to the point where no girls would even look at me. So that was an issue that I really had. So during this time of being bold, really, dates were pretty much non-existent, really, far and few between, but compared to pre-COVID and pre-going this issue, pretty much non-existent, guys, because I could get the dates, whatever, but I just wasn't in the mind frame to do it because I just didn't really feel good about myself, guys. So I just put that part of my life to the side because, it just wasn't the main issue, the pressing issue at the time. But I really believed that even if I did go the whole 9 yards and went fully shaved like I am now, my dating life would be over. I've had good success in that, and I've been really let's say, talented at that. But I thought, yeah, well, that's the end of the fun times are over, Hezron, because you're going bald now, and once you go there, you're gonna look like an old man, and no girl's ever gonna want you, right? Well, I was wrong about that. More on that later, though. So then the next stage started happening, and the next stage was true acceptance. And in my head, I knew that the time was nigh to fully cut my hair off and, go bold gracefully, as they say on the forums. My friend is suffering and is currently still suffering with hair loss. And it was kind of good to be able to go through that experience because at least one person, just the one person, was going through that with me, and we would share tips and stuff, and we would say, look, who's going to go and go bold gracefully first. And what was a great help, guys, was Reddit/bold. And the community is really good, and I started to get really addicted to that community because it would show stories of people going through the same situation as I did, and then taking the plunge and life working out for them or life not working out for them afterwards. But I don't really have a community in anything where I feel like I really belong. A lot of people have communities of their tradition or their like of music or their hobbies or whatever, or sports. But really and truly, guys, although I have hobbies and stuff, I don't really have that kind of category where I belong. But however, on that forum, because I did, because you like this. The thing about this issue is you cannot hide from this issue. You cannot run from this issue. So so as soon as this issue starts happening to you, you are instantly part of that community. And I really felt for the first time in my life a real sense of belonging to a community where, like, yes, I belong here. I'm part of this community. I not because of superficial reasons, because I'm actually going through the same thing that these other people are going through, and that gave me a real sense of community that I've never really felt before. So in these moments, you start to realize maybe there's some positives to what's going on here. So I would look at these stories, and I saw people doing it and going bold gracefully. So I said to myself, okay, the time is nigh, but you're just really holding back from taking the real plunge because once you do it, you're never going back, and you're also kind of scared of even seeing what you're going to look like, at the end of it, So that period, it doesn't happen instantly. That period takes some time to really just, okay, I'm going to do this. It's kind of like taking your exam or whatever, something like that. You're not going to run straight into it, guys. You're going to take your time and you're just going to wait for that moment. But one day I was like, you know what? I've had enough. And I think you need that kind of mindset, to be in that mindset for it to really start to work on you. You have to be able to say, oh my God, this problem has been annoying me persistently for a long time. And in my case, 3 years. And this is I'm just done with this issue. It's just all this mind games of how am I going to fix this, or wearing that hat, or hiding it from there, and not going to this specific place, being insecure there. It takes over your entire life, and you have to say to yourself, oh my God, I've had enough of this. And you have to say, you know what, forget it. I'm going to fix this today, and I'm going to get rid of it. So that day finally came, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was like a summer's day, and I was like, boom, I'm going to do this. So I went there, I was like, my barbers knew by this point, that I've been trying to hide this stuff, because I was always getting these haircuts where it kind of hid it, right? But I went to that barber's, and I sat in that chair, and I was like, listen, guys, cut it all off. It's like some sort of movie moment, So, in that moment, when I say cut it all off, I'm feeling kind of powerful, and secure in myself. But then as soon as you sit on the chair, really, that barber's chair, you think, oh my God, am I really going to do this, And yeah, there's no going back now. I'm not gonna like, even though I kind of wanted to get out of that chair and it's like, guys, forget about it. The embarrassment in front of everybody in the shop to say, actually, maybe not. It was too high. So I said, guys, just let it run. So I sat there. Thinking, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? So they cut the hair off, all of it, with that proper razor blade, and bang, 0. For the first time in my life, a full 0. A skin fade all over the head. And do you know what I felt, guys? Something that I didn't think that I would even feel by doing this. Instantly, and I mean instantly, as soon as that haircut was finished, a huge weight came off my shoulders. Instantly. It was completely beautiful. Like, all that pain and anguish disappeared instantly. It wasn't like it came in an hour or 2 days or 10 minutes. Instantly. It's like someone was holding me down for all those years, and then instantly they took their hands off my shoulders and the weight's gone. I was like, oh my God. I've been suffering through this whole experience for this long. And all it took was a 5-minute haircut. And I'm feeling great again. Because when you're in that balding look, your hair you just look a bit stale, look a bit rusty. The half balding look just doesn't work. Because either you have hair, in my opinion, or you should just cut it off. Because it just looks patchy and messy and dirty. As soon as you get rid of that hair, in my case, I look really clean and fresh. I was like, oh my God, like this doesn't look half bad. Like, look, luckily I've got a beard, I know not all bald guys are fortunate enough to get a beard. But I was fortunate enough, and that really helped. And I thought, look, I'll be honest with you. I didn't look as good as I did with a nice haircut and a shape up. Of course not. I'll never sit here and say to you, look, I look better bald than I did before. To pretty much everybody, no, that's not true at all. But with the beard, it was a look that I was like, you know what, I can dig this. And I posted the photo to our Reddit pretty much instantly. And they just showed so much love. Like, Hezron, you look good. You look really good, bro. Like, people are calling me all these good things and giving me compliments. And, like, I was like, yeah, I can do this. Like, I'm still in the barbershop at this time. I was like, yeah, this isn't half bad. Like, you know what I mean? And I know that I personally am of the belief that being bold looks better on dark-skinned guys or brown-skinned guys or anything like that, because I think if you're white, and especially if you're brunette, once you lose the hair, something just goes missing, because the contrast of white skin and like black hair is very obvious, and then when it becomes all white, it's very obvious to people. But because I'm black and my hair is black anyway, the contrast isn't as huge as it is with other people. So I got lucky in a few ways. I'm lucky I've got a good jawline, I've got a nice beard, and my eyes look good and stuff like that. But I'm very, very fortunate, because I know, look, let's be honest, not everyone can rock the bold look, Some people just can't rock it. I think, guys, that most people can rock it, but obviously there are a certain few that it just doesn't look good. I'll be honest. And I got very lucky that, in my case, I look half decent. So I went outside the barbershop and I decided to test it. I was like walking out the road, like, I have no hat on, I'm free. Like, this is like, wow. I have no hat. Like, this is really cool. Like, this is really nice, I have no hat, and I don't need to wear a hat either. Like, there's nothing to hide here. I'm bold. I'm bold and proud. And it was sunny, and I was walking down the road, and I was like, and, that was the first freeing part of this journey, guys. And right away, I called my friend, because, you have to call your friend to, your friends in these kind of moments to ask for advice. I was like, listen, bro, I just got to see you right now. Come down to this part right now, to where I am right now. I'm not going to tell you why, just come here right now. And he rushed down and he said, oh my God, you did it. Like, you look pretty good. And this is my balding friend, by the way. Like, this, you look really clean. Like, it just doesn't look messy. Like, you really think so, bro? Like, yeah, man, you look good. I was like, oh, man, such a good thing. But even though in myself, the weight lifted and that I knew that I looked half decent, I still had this kind of feeling like, yeah, girls wouldn't like me no more. So I decided to test it out, So I just went down to my local area, Greenford, and just went shopping and just gauged the level of interest as women looked at me down the road. And before COVID, I'll be honest with you guys, I would get lots of looks from girls all the time. That was just, natural when I had full head of hair. So I really wanted to compare, would girls look at me the same amount compared to then and now. So I went to Greenford, my local area, did a bit of shopping, and I got off the bus. And, so I remember like it was yesterday. Like, got off the bus, and on the opposite side of the road, there was a girl at the bus stop. And she was the very first girl in the world to see me fully bald. And she just gave me this look like there's a certain look girls give you when they think you're attractive. And she gave me that look. And I was like, whoa, perfect. Like, maybe I still got it, you feel that feeling like maybe I still got what it takes out here. So long story short, put it this way, I actually do better in that department than I did before. I ain't lacking in that department, put it that way. And I think that's because I really believe that girls don't go purely for looks. Because I think, I've asked girls this, and I've tested this with girls actually. If you find the hottest guy in the world, but his game is terrible, his jokes are boring, he has no ambition, he's just a bit foolish, doesn't really make you laugh, just a bit boring, no drive, no ambition, just a bit dead inside, would you go for that guy? And I really think they wouldn't. And that's what I've seen in the field, guys, because if that was true, a lot of guys that aren't so good looking wouldn't get the girls. And I've seen plenty of guys that are just average in looks, but they are high in ambition, high in comedy, high in, talking to people. They're that guy. They get girls. So I believe that the theory is for me is that girls don't not like guys that are bold. Girls don't like guys that are bold and become insecure because of it. That's my theory that I have at this present time, guys. And I've seen those guys that are bold and they think they're not attractive anymore, and you can see they start to act insecure because of it. And unfortunately, the truth is that is most bold guys. But I think when you are bold and you can still have that confidence, I think women like it because they think, hey, he's bold. He should be less confident like all the other guys. But here's the bold man that's still confident and still got the charm and still got all of that going for him. And he's not faltering here. He must be really on point. He must really have his things put together. And that's me really, because I have more confidence now than I did before, because I realized going through this whole experience that a lot of my confidence came because of my looks, because of my great haircut, because of my hairline. And now that I've been put in a position where I've lost something and I've had to be able to be confident despite the loss, now I'm even more confident. Does that make sense, guys? It's kind of like losing all your money, becoming dirt poor and still being confident. It's really easy to be confident when you've got a yacht, a Lamborghini outside, a mansion to go back home to, or maybe multiple houses across the world. It's really easy to be confident then. But can you be confident when you have nothing? Can you be confident when you've lost everything that you've worked for and now you're from riches to rags. Not rags to riches, riches to rags. And riches to the rags things is the same thing, really, for anyone that loses their hair and starts to have this hair problem, this balding problem. You know, if you can retain that confidence, even though you've lost what a lot of people define as something very important to defining their self-worth, then you're on a whole different level. Because this now means it doesn't matter what clothes I wear. If I'm wearing ugly clothes, I'm still confident. If I'm fat and ugly, I'm still confident. If I have no business or no, my career isn't going so well, let's say, I will still be confident because I've already been there. I've already been put to the hell of self-confidence, i.e. losing hair, and I still came out big of it because of it. And even still, during that time, I've now built this really good business during that whole ordeal. So it's like, who's going to touch me now? I have like this ultimate confidence now. Like no one's faltering me because of that. And I think that's why now I've had more success in the dating department now, because I've just gained all this confidence because of the situation. So in a really ironic way, guys, being bold, going through this experience and, this has been a net positive for me, actually. It's really weird. This has transformed my life. I am much more happy, much more, I don't need any material things or any physical things to make me be confident. I could lose my hair tomorrow. I could break my arm tomorrow. I could, just get acne or whatever, and I'll still be just as confident because I don't place what I look like or what I have to my self-confidence anymore. Now, truth be told, I didn't do that much before, but with this going bold thing, like it's out the window now. And I think most people don't have that ability. Most people do place their self-worth on how good they look that day. Because now I go to the barbershop and I get my haircuts done within 5 minutes, and I really don't care what it looks like because, let's be honest, you can't really mess up a bold haircut. So I have this thing of like, I trust anyone. I'm not really looking at my looks like that. Whereas I see people with a full head of hair and they're like, bro, barber, you missed the spot there. Like, are you sure that's okay, barber? Like, are you sure that this is done well? They're really placing all of their worth on their haircut, even though they've got a full head of hair and they look great. I'm like, brother, like, don't worry about your haircut, bro. You got a full head of hair. Like, I know that most people would struggle going bald, especially at this young age. Going bald at 50 compared to going bald at 25, before I've been married, before I had my kids. I'm still in my prime, guys, just doing my, hot boy summer thing, and I'm going bald. It's much different. When you get bald young, it really hits self-confidence. And because, truth be told, I am a confident person regardless, I was just about able to get through this whole ordeal. But I know of so many guys that just can't accept it, and it's so difficult. And all the guys that still have hair, especially when they're young, the guys that have hair right now, they're still young. They have this kind of like, they think they have this kind of like what's the word for it? Privilege or whatever. Which it is a privilege to still have the hair really because you didn't earn it, right? They think, yeah, you go and bold it, like that would never happen to me. I could get through that. No, they wouldn't. Half of these guys would not hack it. They would go back to their mums crying the moment they have a bald patch on their head. And I don't blame them because I didn't cry or anything, but I went through the whole ordeal myself. But they think that their hair and their looks in general is giving them all this confidence. Whereas really and truly, it's a simulation of confidence. It's a very, how would I put it? It's a very superficial confidence because the confidence isn't actually real. When you get confidence from what you have or what you look like and not from within, that's not real confidence. Confidence is when you have nothing to offer whatsoever, but yet you still go forward, even though you're in the face of danger. Confidence is going into the lion's den or into the dragon's den, not knowing your true abilities, not knowing if you're going to come out alive, not knowing how powerful the dragon is, but still going down there regardless and slaying that dragon. That's real confidence. Confidence isn't having the best sword in the whole universe and, the best armor and, you know exactly how to kill the dragon and you're going to go in there. That's not confidence. You know exactly what's going to happen. Confidence comes when you only come from within, not when you have it from a materialistic item, guys. And that's what being bold has taught me, guys. And it's made me just 10 times more powerful. When you go through hard times in your life, it's very easy to look at all the bad things that are going to come out of it. But what I love to do is look at what good parts can I get out of this? And being able to retain that confidence is what I learned. That's the good part I took out of it. Because now I have ultra confidence, way more than before. And women sense these things. Women can sense if you get your confidence from being rich and having a Lambo compared to just having that real confidence. And I've seen guys that are broke and not have anything going for them, yet they still get girls. Do you know why? Because they have true confidence. And on the flip side, I've seen these guys, that have everything, great career, loads of money, but yet they still got to pay for it by being a sugar daddy. So that isn't proof as to what girls really like. I don't know what else is. If you can really harness that power and be the man or the woman you're supposed to be and not rely on the external, but rather the internal, nothing or no one, nobody is ever going to beat you. So I love being bold now because it makes me unique and stands me out from the rest. Yes, it takes a lot of emotional work, a lot of self-growth to overcome the challenge, but if you do it, the rewards are endless. Nobody's going to be able to beat you. Because once you get that confidence from within, you're unstoppable. When you're young, you see those bold guys and you think, hey, that's them and I'm me. But then one day you start to go bold, right? And you don't want to accept that, hey, that's me. But hey, it's true. I'm Hezron. I'm 27 years old. And I'm a bold man. I'm a sexy bold man. And you know what? Boldness hasn't taken over my life. I'm still confident. I'm still sexy. I still got the swagger, still got the moves, and I'm still doing me. And once you have that level of confidence to still be you, even with what a lot of people would define as a drawback, who's going to beat you, man? Listen, being bold ain't that bad. I ain't got cancer. There's real things out there that would really ruin your life, like cancer or some sort of kidney failure or a liver failure, some sort of organ failure. Those are real serious things. And it's so sad to me that people that are bold go through so much pain just because of hair. It doesn't make them sick. It doesn't kill them. I understand why you have that emotional pain because it's so difficult. And the truth is, if you're not bold, you will never understand it. But you have to understand this is just a superficial problem. And life gets better, a lot better. And it's true, you have to do the self-work, the spiritual growth, all of that. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be damn hard. But the results are endless. And I would never change it for the world. So no, I'm never going to get a hair transplant. I just find those kind of like things just to be weak. Like, I just don't deal with it because it's not accepting who you are. And the moment that you accept that yes, you are a bold man now and a sexy one at that, who's going to beat you? Because one, there's not that many bold men. And two, there's not that many sexy bold men. And I can tell you, girls go crazy for it. I can tell you. Because here's a man that's not no hair on his head. They might even try to like tease you with a joke about it, and yet you're still gonna remain strong and in control and powerful. Yeah, that's a powerful man. That's a man that can still get up even when he's knocked down. That's a man that's gonna do big things. Life gets better. Life gets a lot better. I'm a flipping bold man, and I love it. This is the Hezron Springer Show.